Shavu'oth, also commonly known as Pentecost, is a divinely commanded holiday that God commands the people of Israel to uphold in all their generations as part of the everlasting covenant made between God and the people of Israel. But this begs the question, what is the whole point? What is so special about the Torah? Why do I even care about the Torah, about the Bible? Is it just that I'm enamored by Jewish traditions, have some obsession about the Jewish people? Trust me, I've lived among the Jewish people for more than 20 years. I lived in Israel for about 15 years. I know better than anyone outside the Jewish world the humanity, how normal the Jewish people are. They are humans just like any other human. I know the good and the bad. I am not obsessed with the Jewish people. I do not see the Jewish people or the Jewish religion through rose-colored lenses. So, from where comes my passion for Torah, for the faith, the historical faith of the prophets of Israel? Have you ever watched true crime videos? Have you ever actually read in depth about some of these stories? You know, there are far too many criminals who have not merely killed in a questionable act of self-defense. God protect us from any such situation, but there are situations where it could be questionable, where you don't really know what's right or wrong. You know, should I kill this person who looks like they may be about to kill someone else, but I'm not really sure? Such terrible situations happen, and it could be questioned whether they have ulterior motive or not. But there are situations where people murder people out of a unimaginably grotesque level of depravity, where they get pleasure out of seeing the suffering of other people. And the more sadistic and twisted it is, the more they relish in their suffering. Such people have lowered themselves below the level of animals. Thank God this is not the norm, even of criminals. I'm sorry, but I'm just thinking of certain things, because on these true crime stories, as bad as they can be, if you've actually read up on some of these horrible atrocities, you will know that even the worst of these true crime stories, even the likes of the Jeffrey Dahmer miniseries that recently came out, you will know from reading about it that they soften the blow of how sick some of these people truly are. I've read unimaginable things, and no telling what is going on right this very moment. No telling how many horrible things have happened that went uncovered, unexposed in times past because we didn't have the forensic technology that we have today. But back to the point. I love the God of Israel, the God of all existence, and the expression of his noble traits embodied in his everlasting commandments. Why? Because they raise humanity up above the animals. Regardless of the controversy, I'm not saying it dogmatically. But I believe that humans evolved from animals. And physiologically, we are animals. But I believe what raises us above the animals is not our ability of intellect and our ability to reason. In fact, as evolutionary biologists learn more about other species, we see that humans are not so exceptional on certain matters of intelligence. There are aspects of intelligence, such as short-term memory, in which other apes, such as chimpanzees, far excel human beings. On average, far excel. There are aspects of intelligence in which marine mammals far exceed the capacities and the reaches of human excellence. And yet they are known for gang raping. What sets humanity apart in any positive sense is not our intelligence, it's not our technology. It's our internalizing and the degree to which we internalize noble traits and virtues that embody everlasting, eternal, and sublime principles of goodness. This is what's raised us up from animalism and from even below animalism, because with great intelligence, the higher the intelligence, the lower you can steep. I'm trying not to think about it too much because I'm driving. But the higher you rise, the lower you can fall. And so the higher you rise, the more of a bar you need to set as the standard of ethics for humanity. And it cannot be a free-for-all. The last 100 years should be enough for anyone who's familiar that even the most intelligent groups of humans who throw the ethical and moral principles embodied in the Torah, the law of Moses, in the Bible, in the message of the prophets of Israel, even the most intelligent and technologically advanced societies that think they have risen above the prophets of Israel, they steep below within matters of months. They steep below the worst accusations against the traditions of Israel. I'm well aware, I'm not an idiot. I have been engrossed in the history of Israel and the biblical tradition and literature since I was about 11 years old. At 15, beginning to delve into it in the original language, the Hebrew language. I am well aware of the accusations and the criticisms of the Bible. Believe me. I'm also aware and have put far more thought than the majority of people who criticize the Bible. I'm aware of the historical way in which the Jewish people understood those challenging passages in the Bible. The historical way that the Jewish people, the people of Israel, have understood those passages and grappled with those passages and interpreted them in vastly different ways than are reflected in the typical English translations and other translations. Grappling with them and understanding them in more ethical ways, not in response to modern moralism or modern ethical theories, but grappling with them and coming to more ethical and noble ways of understanding these challenging passages in the Bible, doing so almost 2,000 years ago in Talmudic literature. rabbis debating with rabbis as to what it would mean and what we should, God forbid, never understand it to mean. One rabbi taking it at its plain meaning and another saying, this cannot possibly mean, this cannot possibly be what our God, who is the quintessential essence of goodness, could mean. Realizing that if, hypothetically, your divinely revealed revelation means something so base and barbaric as that, then it behooves us to understand it differently, because such a God as that is not worthy of worship. It's because I have looked into the depths of the Torah, the Bible, with a greater microscope than the greatest biblical critic, and with more passion and fervor and willingness to analyze and throw out. People who watch my videos don't know what all I think. I've tried to unconvince myself many, many times, especially after dealing with firsthand the perversions of the Jewish faith when living in the ultra-insular, ultra-Orthodox Jewish communities, which distort the tradition of Israel more than any others that claim to represent it. But even they, at their worst, have not stooped to the low depravity that is increasingly feeling Western society as they abandon the bedrock, the ethical messages which are the foundations upon which all the goodness of Western society are built. It's because the Torah, the God of Israel, by his revealed word, it's because this is what lifted us up from the debauchery of primitive man. It's because of this that I have passion for Torah. Yes, humanity was rising up before the Torah was given in ancient Samaria and in ancient Egypt, and look at the atrocities that they were committing. Any criticism of the faith of Israel in the Torah pales in comparison to the criticism that ancient Samaria and ancient Babylon and ancient Egypt are worthy of receiving. This is a message which continually purifies itself more and more, lifting us up above the sludge from which humanity emerged. This is the Torah, the word of the everlasting God. This Torah is the everlasting guidance, embodying eternal sublime principles of goodness, of lofty virtues, distilled in a way which is relatable in all generations and which pushes us to learn history and compels us according to its own everlasting authority, demanding that we appoint wise men, judges who investigate languages and history and science to learn how to apply these things in noble and loving and compassionate ways, constantly renewed, new applications for new situations according to the increase of our knowledge, to protect us from reverting back to the barbaric apes from which we evolved, and without which we are not humans, but below even animals. Blessed is the God of Israel, the giver of the Torah, who has turned monkeys and barbaric apes into angels for those that would conform to the image of his word. Barich Rahman ad-Dasayan. Hag Shavuot Sameach.